Sports Arena, powered by DSC Hawaii on the Hawaii Pacific University campus at Aloha Tower Marketplace. Here's your host, Hawaii Pacific University's Vice President and Chief Marketing Communications Officer, Jeffrey Rich.
Aloha, Sharks Nation. It's Thursday morning, and we're broadcasting live from the HPU Esports Arena here at Aloha Tower Marketplace. I'm your host, Jeff Rich, and we have a treat today in their inaugural season. We have HPU's newly anointed beach volleyball team in studio. We've got our head coach and three awesome players coming off of his sixth season on the hard court and heading into, obviously, his first season as the head coach of the beach volleyball team. We've got Coach Jenic Tumaneng. Jenic, welcome. And we've got three players with us today, hailing from Clovis, California. Let's see, you are a sophomore nursing major, Alayna Grinstead. Good to meet you. And freshman Lauren Harris from Vancouver, Washington, a biology major. Welcome. And freshman Erika Markentin, coming from Saskatchewan, Canada, a marine biology major. And with a twin sister, I understand, too. So we'll talk a little bit about that, too. But welcome, guys. You know, we're really excited to talk about beach volleyball. It's a brand new sport here at the university. First season. So, you know, let's kick things off, Jenic. I wanted to talk a bit about maybe opening the university's decision to move into beach volleyball and what drove that and kind of how we see the sport developing here. So first of all, welcome. Welcome back.
Thank you for having us again.
Good to have you.
Well, beach was always a consideration for at HPU when I was here as an assistant. So we were always trying to drive for, bettering the sport as well. So when beach came about again for, I think, the third time that we talked with our athletic director and leadership that, hey, is this something that we can do? Obviously, I got excited and jumped to the opportunity. And with Debbie, and I just kind of talking it through, getting some conversation with our leadership at CFO and president and what needs to be done. Everything fell in place and we got it going.
Well, as they say, it's a very in-brand sport for a university based in Hawaii. That's for sure. But what was the strategy in the university's launch of the program to have it be sort of a collaborative program with hardcourt volleyball? We've got all three of our players today play on both the hardcourt team and the beach team. Or so is the sport going to develop its own philosophy and sort of develop independently of the hardcourt program here, or do you see them developing more collaboratively and being feeders for each other?
Well, I think it's going to be both. We'll have probably several of our athletes playing dual, sports. But then as I'm an interim head coach in the beach. Okay. I don't think I'll be able to do the beach indoor and beach outdoor for a duration.
So are we definitely going to be hiring?
We're going to look into that. Yeah, we're going to look into that, whether it's my current indoor staff, maybe one taking the lead role in the beach, then that will be something there. Okay. So there's good options in the staffing. But as far as collaboration between two programs, we've got a lot of interest for beach only, but then again, my mind is indoor, and when someone talks about beach, I've always thrown in there, how are you with indoor as well, but their primary focus would be on beach.
Okay, so for the foreseeable future, you could see players certainly having the option to play both programs because they're separate, right? So you've got hardcourt goes in the fall, that season is done, completed, yes. And now as we are in the spring term, you're launching beach volleyball, so there is an ability to play on both teams. Interesting. So first of all, ladies, welcome to the show. Let's maybe start by Alayna telling me a little bit about how did you get interested? And you started as a hardcourt volleyball. Are you new to beach volleyball also, or?
So growing up in California, that's like one of the biggest sports for beach volleyball. So I started really with indoor, and then I would say probably 8th grade is when my program, started like doing beach also, just to kind of like give an additional workout to like indoor, you know, get better, stronger, faster. And I would go down south, play in tournaments, and I was like, okay, I really like this, like it's fun. And when it came to the recruiting process for volleyball, you know, for beach, it's not always about like the tallest player or whatever. It's a lot like, it's really strategic. So it's like who can move the fastest, who can do shots, you know, it's a lot different than it is indoor. And I was like, I think I could go a lot farther with beach than I could indoor. So I started looking into recruiting for beach, and that's when I found a college in Miami. So I went and played a season last year, and then when I heard that HBU was starting a beach program, I was like, okay, I'd love to do that. So that gave me another opportunity, and that's how I ended up here.
Wow, so you've gone from California to Florida, Hawaii, your volleyball journey.
Yes, a little bit of it.
That's a lot of freaking flyer miles. Man, I'm not going to ask anybody which is their favorite, because I don't want to put anybody in that spot if there has to be choices down the road. But Lauren, you know, welcome. So you're from Vancouver, Washington. Is that a beach volleyball hotbed?
I wouldn't say so. No, no. There is beach volleyball, but I wouldn't say it's like really, you know, known there.
Okay, and you got into the sport through hardcourt?
Yeah, I started hardcourt in like 4th grade. Just got thrown in it because my mom wanted me to. And I don't know how beach started. I think I just kind of like all the girls started playing in a little tournament, and I was like, sure, I'll try it. So yeah, started picking up some tournaments, but I did not think I was going to play in college. But that's why I love this opportunity so much, because it's so unknown, but I loved picking up beach volleyball. Yeah.
And you're a freshman, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So when you came, were you even aware that we were going to start a beach program here?
I was. That's kind of like the reason I came here, actually, because I came here. I was like, indoor. I love indoor. Like, I'm going to do that. But like beach is just like kind of a plus. It's I don't know.
Yeah, it certainly is a nice environment to play in.
Totally.
That's for sure.
Oh yeah, it's way more laid back.
Wow.
It's still intense.
So Erika, we were talking, so you literally just stepped foot on campus here. You are a freshman, but this is your first semester here in the spring, right? So you weren't here for the fall term.
Yeah, so this is my first month on campus, so
Okay, and you're from Canada, Saskatchewan, a place that I also imagine is not a beach volleyball hotbed.
It's not huge, but there definitely are people playing, yeah. So I got into it in probably 13U around then, and I think I started just as like an off-season workout for indoor, because like running and jumping in the sand definitely just improves your vertical and speed indoor as well. But then I just started to love it and saw it long term, so yeah.
Nice. So what's, all right, so let's talk about the differences in the sport. Obviously one is on a hard court, one is on the beach. There are how many players hard court?
Have six
on a court at a time, and then 2.
Yes.
So you've got those different dynamics, but you know, putting those things aside, you know, what's really different about the sport from a philosophy standpoint? You know, training, you mentioned, it helps training on the beach with your hard court leaping and all, but talk to us a little bit about, you know, the beach volleyball culture and the philosophy that develops.
You know, I feel like a lot of people feel like indoor is like kind of the same thing as beach, and like just because it's like volleyball, like it gets like associated together, and it is like a lot of the same, like, you know, setting, hitting, whatever, but there is a lot more that goes into beach, I would say, as far as like rules. Like there's a lot of things that you can't do like outdoor that you could do indoor, and it'd be fine just because it is 2v2, and like you could take one of the best players indoor and they could be not the greatest outdoor, you know. So there is a lot of differences as far as like how you move, you know, how you set, like the shots that you want to take, just little things like that. But yeah.
I mean, I think outdoor translating to indoor, it's a way more relaxed environment. It's still intense because you and your partner are trying to win the game, but way more relaxed, versus indoor. It's just fast paced. You're always going, you're always moving, you're always thinking. Yeah, I mean, it translates over pretty well, but I'd say like when you go from playing beach back to indoor, like you're like jumping through the ceiling. Like it's like, whoa, I didn't know I could have a vertical like this, you know? So that's what I love about the transition from outdoor to indoor.
So you have to just the need to get your technique down to jump on sand, it makes your leaping on the hard court just that much more successful.
Correct. And like the timing will always be off, but it only takes like a week to get back into the timing. Like that's all. But super great for hitters. And then for setting, it's a little bit different, but not too hard to switch up. But
and you're a defensive specialist and setter.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that translate into beach board? So you let go of that when you hit the beach versus your hard court philosophy?
I actually wouldn't say so. I'd say the defensive part of it, that's actually a main part of beach volleyball. If you don't have control, you don't really have the game. Okay. Honestly, but in setting, it is about like having your clean hands. You can't double; they can tell really easily. So,
A double, you mean
a double touch. Like when I'm going up to set, like if the ball spins, like that's a double. You're, don't get the point. But you have to be a lot cleaner outdoor. It's like more precise, I'd say, in skill. And if I set outdoor like I did. Or wait, if I set indoor like I do outdoor, I'd get called a lot. I'm like dipping really low. So, yeah.
What's your perspective, Erika?
I think in beach it's just a lot more trust because there's only one other person on the court. So you really just have to make sure you're setting up your block and you just have to trust that they'll be there to defend it, or other way around. You just have to trust that they'll block that and you just take the one option, so cross or line. And just a lot more aggression too, because the same thing, like you can't expect other girls to go get it because it's literally just you and one other girl. So if they're not getting it, it's you.
Yep.
But I like that aspect about it. It's pretty fun.
It's interesting, and just watching the sports. I mean, it seems the team mentality on the hard court is more of a shared mentality and shared philosophy versus an intimacy that you have to have with your partner and being on the same page on the beach side of things. You can kind of see that just in how the games were played. But hey, we're going to take a quick break, but we are talking HPU beach volleyball in their inaugural season, just getting rolling. First practice on Sunday, this last Sunday, so it is fresh. And it's an interesting conversation. Stick with us. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Jeff Rich, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we are back on Sharks Weekly talking beach volleyball. And just a reminder, we broadcast live every Thursday morning on 95.1 FM and AM 760. And for those loyal listeners out there, you've heard before, but we have a live stream that's available on YouTube. If you go check out the Hawaii Sports Radio Network's YouTube page, you'll see a link to that, so you can kind of see all the shenanigans happening in studio while we talk. But let's get back to talking with our coach here. So Jenic, so with the sport being new at HPU, it's also new at other schools and within the Pac West. And tell us about the competition. What other schools have programs? Where will the team be playing? But how does this sport fit into our other sports that compete in Pac West competitions?
Yeah, well, Pac West, we're hoping that it does develop into a conference. Currently, we do have Chaminade that also started their beach program for the first year this year.
Okay.
Concordia has one as well. And, for the others, we're just trying to kind of get them on board, so hopefully we can create a conference of the Pac West.
So is it independent teams now that don't belong to a conference, because Pac West hasn't formally initiated a beach volleyball conference yet?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I got an email inviting us to the championships of small schools in Florida. And okay, well, we haven't really got in our schedule yet. And I don't think that's
they're inviting to the championship.
Yeah, they're inviting us
tournament.
to the tournament. We'll see.
Are there enough teams for competitions, or is it you're going to play a lot of the same teams multiple times until more schools develop programs?
Yeah, we're going to have to try to. We're getting several dual matches with Chaminade at Queens Beach, and getting that there. We're fortunate to have our opportunity to play Portland University to come down. Here as well.
So Chaminade's home court is Queens Beach. It's over in Waikiki.
Yeah, that's just going to be our for both of us as well.
Both teams.
Yeah, that's where we're going to compete at, and
So the practice though is at the sand courts. You said at the corner of on the ATM side of Ala Moana Beach.
Yeah, right.
That's very cool. Yeah, I've played a little bit on those courts. It's a nice little area and certainly a beautiful view of Ala Moana. So are you in contact with coaches at other schools, and as this all forms and develops, or is there sort of a camaraderie for the schools that have started programs that are trying to get it here?
We've tried to talk to the several of the PacWest coaches to say, hey, how are your thoughts on developing a beach program? And obviously the biggest thing is the financing of it.
Yeah.
So again, it's always going to be a cost to travel, so that's something that always be considered.
Yeah. How do you guys, handle the travel? And you'll be using your hardcourt experience here, but it's got to be tough, to get on a plane and go 2,500 miles to play, any game that's not on the island. Does that take a lot out of you?
I feel like that's like one of my favorite parts of season, actually. I think it's just a really good time to bond with everyone. And for me, like, I'm from California, so it's just like going back home. Like, we played Fresno Pacific, so I got to see my parents and everything then. But I think it's really cool also for the other girls to see the different areas that they haven't seen before as well.
Okay. So, what about how the team chemistry comes together versus hardcourt? So, I know a lot of teams, have service activities to create team culture and bonding, a lot of group trips to hiking, beaches. Have you started building that culture with the beach team, or are you sort of carrying over the connections from hardcourt because you're all hardcourt players as well? But, how do you see that developing and being different from the hardcourt bonding experience?
Yeah, I feel like transferring over from indoor, it is pretty cool that we have like a lot of the same players, because like we're not only like growing that connection like from indoor, but like we also get to continue it outdoor. So I think it's like an additional, like, especially like just playing with different people, like getting familiar with what they like do best, like how they like what they need in a partner, stuff like that. So I think it is a good like additional connection to indoor.
Okay. And Lauren, so you're a freshman, so this is your first year college experience coming. I assume you were in high school last year?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it been like, the whole college experience and then your athletic experience, having gone through the hardcourt season in the fall?
I wouldn't say my college experience is not like the typical person, especially since I'm here. So I'd say coming to Hawaii and like right off the bat playing indoor volleyball, I was just like, what the heck is going on? Like, I'm just like, where am I right now? But I don't really know. I just kind of jumped into it, and I really enjoy it, and like it's a lot of work, especially with biology and like playing indoor and traveling and all that stuff, and now beach. It's definitely a lot. I don't have a lot of free time, but I love the grind. I think it's great. Like I don't want to stop. It's awesome.
Did you play other sports in high school, or was this volleyball your sport?
I just played volleyball in high school, but I was always like a basketball volleyball girl. Okay. But yeah, just volleyball in high school. Yeah.
Is there crossover? Well, the sports there. Well, you've got. I mentioned you can't play both sports, right? Basketball, volleyball.
You can.
You can.
I think there was a girl on our team that did.
We had two of our former athletes that played basketball and volleyball.
Okay.
One currently just kind of focused on basketball, and this past season was Kalina Obrey. So she's just finishing up with basketball.
Okay,
so
and height being the common denominator between both sports. Well, Erika, tell us. So you just got here, so you're acclimating to everything. Did you? You're a freshman. Did you transfer from another school from the fall term, or are you just stepping into college now?
Yeah, I'm just stepping into it now. I just took a semester off, so chilled at home with my family. So that was nice, like
in
a
Canada?
little send off.
Okay.
Yeah, just in Canada. But yeah, I've been loving it here so far. It's been a month already, which is so crazy. Like midterms are pulling up. I don't really know how to feel about that, but we'll see when they come around.
Well, Saskatchewan, I imagine, like a lot of places in Canada, can be cold.
Yes, it is very cold. I'm so happy to be here. 2 weeks ago, it was actually minus 40 back at home.
Oh my God.
So I was getting the text from my mom, like, look how cold it is here. I'm like, yeah, I'm not coming home anytime soon. You won't see me. So.
How did HPU get on your radar? What was it that drew you to the school, to the region, other than the beautiful weather, of course?
I'd say definitely the region, just to get out of the minus 40. That's not really for me. But yeah, also just like the coach Jenic was super like like calm when I talked to him, and just like kind of drew me in. Like that's just what I'm kind of looking for in a coach. And then I came and visited in April, and all the girls are like super welcoming. Like now there's only me and one other like new transfer student, but just the girls like offering to take us out to the beach or like get to know us, or I'm here if you need anything. So that's super nice.
So it's that spirit of aloha that drew you in.
Yes.
Would you remember, like, when did you first become aware of HPU? I mean, what was it? Do you remember the moment or how you even became aware of the school?
I think it was just sitting at home looking through schools, like during your recruiting process, as I'm sure everyone goes through. Yeah. So just searching up warm places to go.
Yeah, I hear you. I've spent most of my life in cold places, Minnesota, not too far from the border there. And boy, is it a life change when you can get to a place that has perpetually beautiful weather. Yeah. Right. Are there team activities that you guys are starting to think about and form as you develop, the chemistry and the culture within the beach program? Are there special things that you guys as players are carrying over from the hardcore team that you want to institute as norms and activities for the beach team?
I feel like a lot of our bonding just comes from like, oh, like let's go to the beach, or it's just stuff like that. Like we haven't really like designated like a certain activity or anything, but I feel like that would definitely be something like fun to do. Like there's so much to do, like a hike or like whatever it is. So yeah, that's definitely something that we should look into.
There's never a shortage of things to do. Ala Moana, #1 beach for the team since it's so close.
Yeah, it's up there. For sure.
Love that place.
And you guys surf?
I've tried it one time, and I actually really wanted to get into it this semester because I took all online classes so I could have like a little bit more free time. And Jenic's not a huge fan of that, but I told myself I was going to get a board and like actually learn how to, but I haven't got around to it yet, but eventually.
Well, respect the power of the water is all I'm going to say.
Right.
Jenic, nodding ahead. So as you go through the season, so tell us, when's your first game? So you started practicing Sunday.
Our first game is February 10th.
February 10th. Okay, so that's homecoming day for HBU.
So we got a morning duel at I think our first match probably scheduled at 7:30.
And it'll be at Queens Beach.
It'll be at Queens Beach, and it's generally run like a 6-hour duel. I mean, from the time we start up setting up to our last match.
So you've got...
we should be done by 1.
And you said you've got 5 pairs of 2.
5 pairs, and then we'll have, I want to say we can fill in maybe 8 to 9 teams. And the 6 through 9 will also have a match, but it won't count into the scoring.
Okay.
Yeah. So
tell us how scoring works. So if you have 5 pairs of 2, you theoretically have 5 games played or matches played.
We'll have 3 courts through 4 courts set up, and they'll go all at one time. So as again, coaching is going to be a little different in the beach. It's more them coaching themselves. I can't say a word as the play going on. So that's going to be tough.
You can't talk while
the game's going on.
And when there's breaks, there's some consultation.
They call the timeout. I can't call the timeout.
Okay.
The players make those decisions, and that's where the trust and just knowing the game and just mentally, preparing themselves for a long, grueling days.
So how many matches will each team play on a given day when there's a competition?
They'll at least have 2. They only have 2. As far as the seeding goes, our 1 through 5 will generally play like a 1. Well, 1s will play, and I think 1s in 3 plays, in those kind of things.
Okay.
So.
And then is there, is it bracketed where the top teams eventually play?
Yes.
Who wins that competition for that day?
Right, and that's where the scoring comes into play. I mean, obviously the match in itself is important, but then the overall and seeing what the total, like 3-2, if it's HPU 3, Sham 2, then we won the duel.
Got it. All right. All right. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk a little bit more about the structure and how teams play and all. This is really interesting and different from hardcourt. So, and we'll also bring our friend Mr. Paul Breck in for a little conversation. So, Paul, be ready. We neglected to say hello to you this morning, by the way.
Hi, everybody. I am here, much to other people's dismay, I'm sure.
Oh, I would never say that. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, but you're listening to Sharks Weekly on Hawaii Sports Radio Network, broadcasting from the beautiful campus of Hawaii Pacific University. I'm your host, Jeff Rich, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we're back on the campus of Hawaii Pacific University here at Aloha Tower Marketplace in the beautiful esports arena. Hey, just a quick shout out and thank you to our amazing sponsors. The Kawazoe Group. Kawazoe Group is a proud sponsor of Hawaii Pacific University sports. Thank you to them for their support. And Hawaii USA FSU, Hawaii USA Federal Credit Union, where your financial well-being matters to us. Thank you to our sponsors. Hey, as we went into the break, we had just brought in Mr. Paul Brack, who is our in-studio air traffic controller, working the board and keeping us honest. Paul, you are as fascinated and excited about the launch of beach volleyball as I am.
I am. It's a lot of fun because I'm a recent volleyball lover in general. Like, I've kind of fallen in love with the sport since moving out here to Hawaii. It's such a, and Jenic and ladies, you can probably speak to this more, of just how passionate the people are here from even the high school level up through the college level with volleyball. So yeah, I would say that my passion and my interest in the sport has certainly upgraded over the past couple of years. And I was talking with Coach a little bit during the break, just because I was curious how the differences in terms of scheduling, being that there is that crossover with hardwood and indoor, and then you go to beach and outdoor, and having the same athletes, and how you kind of balance that scheduling aspect of things, where it's like, okay, I might have to give a little bit of time off here. And I was just hoping you could talk a little bit more about that, Coach, how you go about, especially considering you are the guy for both programs, how you go about working with your players, and ladies, how you guys go about off-season work, quote unquote, when there's not really an off-season.
Yeah, well, again, being in charge of both programs currently, it is a juggling act in terms of scheduling, because it is two separate programs. So I give these girls a little bit of space as far as, hey, again, we're academic first, so we want to make sure that we don't take that away from their opportunities to be successful in their classes and courses and all that. So with that said, we try to plot out a practice schedule for both indoor and outdoor, and if there's any conflicts on their end in terms of their schedules, and they just got to communicate with me, and they do a very good job in doing that. And obviously if they're not in practice, they'll be missing out all the fun. And again, these girls are committed to both programs, and as well as their academics, and to themselves, so I'm grateful for that.
And how have you guys found it? You mentioned how you were taking some online courses now, and what's the difference between that and taking in-person classes? Is there a difference? Have you noticed that in terms of your student-athlete life?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the biggest thing would definitely be like the social aspect of it, and that's why I was a little bit hesitant, because I do really like being involved and like seeing people and like meeting new people, like seeing my friends, whatever. But that would definitely be the biggest thing. But I think it's allowed for me to get out more, be able to do a lot more than I would if I was in person. And I think I'm the type of student that learns better when it's like that, because I can really like sit down and like dig in and like do what I need to do, rather than like when I'm sitting in a lecture, I just like there's so much like going on that I just like it's just going through one ear and out the other. So I think it's a little bit more beneficial for me.
And then obviously you guys are freshmen in a little bit different seats, but how have you guys experienced the student athlete side of things, where it's that balancing of time, where it's on court or on beach, on net, wherever you are, and in classroom, plus the social part of it? How's that been? Obviously this is your second semester, and then your first semester, how that's been?
I would say last semester was just like a whirlwind, like going into biology, like right off the bat, and like volleyball was all brand new. I was like, I mean, I think Alayna could attest to this. Every single day I was just like, I need to study. Like I was like crazy over school, which I think is okay. I mean, better than not being crazy over school. But I would say that, and then, you know, balancing it with the social life and, I don't know, trying to like meet new people and all that jazz. It's tough, but since I did it last semester, I feel now is like I feel better about it. I feel like I can manage my time a lot better. I don't know. I've been getting out a lot more, meeting a lot more people this semester. It's easier to balance now with the experience, I'd say.
It's funny how experience helps out
a lot.
Experience matters, and you don't realize that when you're young and you don't have it.
Exactly.
Right? You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, totally.
Well, Erika, this is a brand new, fresh perspective. So you're coming into a place with many, many distractions.
Yes, for sure.
You know, and you've got to stay disciplined on the sport that you're here to play, obviously your academic pursuits, but give us a right off the boat, literally kind of perspective on what it's like to step into an amazingly beautiful place with so many things to do.
Yeah, it's kind of overwhelming, honestly. There's just so much going on, but definitely with school, you just have to stay disciplined. But yeah, some days I'm just like in my dorm all day studying, and then I walk outside and I'm like, I'm in Hawaii. Like, what am I doing? Like, I just need to get out sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, it's just amazing. Like, I love being here. And even just like walking from ATM to waterfront for classes, it's just like, wow. I'm like so grateful to be here. It's so beautiful.
I've said the same thing to myself. And, you know, coming also from cold weather places where you covet a beautiful warm day, right, in Canada or Minnesota or upstate New York, you know, you force yourself when you live in those places when it's nice out to go out and do something. And the hardest thing I had to deal with when I moved here was because almost every day is beautiful and nice all year round. Yeah. It's you have to give yourself license sometimes to not go out and hit it hard or do something recreational and say, all right, today I got to study or today I got to get this thing done for work. And it takes a lot of discipline to get yourself into that mindset.
Yeah, the UV is really tempting. When it's high, you just want to go 10, but you know.
It's a nice feeling though to have that motivation, but I found it took me about a year to kind of get out of that mode where every single day it was nice and I had to go out and do something where, okay, it's okay to sit at home on a Saturday and just, you know, lay low for a little bit.
Yeah, wow. For sure. There should be staying home in the evening because we have a 6 a.m. Sunday morning. So
6 a.m. practice on Sunday mornings.
I'm in my bed at night.
So, no, that's
wow. Well, all right. So tell us more about, you know, I think this is going to carry over from the hardcore thing, but more about what you guys do as a team. You know, team activities. You mentioned Ala Moana Beach is a home beach. You know, back to the hardcore bonding experience. Did you go out and do other things? You know, group dinners. You know, group recreational things, but give us a sense of what that off the court life is like.
I mean, off the court wise, I think like lifting with the girls, that's been like a fun activity. Like,
now, is that required or suggested?
Technically,
by?
Yes.
Okay.
Somewhat.
But otherwise, we don't really like plan anything. We're not like, oh, you know, Saturday at 5, let's go to dinner. It's more just like, I wake up in the morning, I'll check my phone, and like one of my teammates will text me like, hey, all the girls are going to, I think we went to Sandy's one day, like, and we just like go, and like we even played spike ball, like something like that. Super laid back, like nothing like you have to be here, it's planned.
Now what's spike ball?
Spike ball? Okay, spike ball is like the round net on the floor, and then you get like the little yellow ball. And like it's 2v2.
So it's a little trampoline?
Yeah, it's like a little trampoline. Yeah,
that's
it's
I've
awesome.
seen that. Okay.
It's super fun for us because it's like basically volleyball, but like with a little ball in a net. So, so we don't really plan anything, but I think it'd be fun. Maybe like a team dinner, but it's more like split groups. Not that we're divided because I think we're all really good friends, but yeah, smaller groups. We go out, go to the beach, go get food, whatever it is.
Yeah. You guys been up to the North Shore, I imagine, a few times.
We love the North Shore.
What's your favorite place to go up there?
I would say like Pipeline or like
Pipeline is we've had the most fun I think at Pipeline.
Those are like North Shore days. Like we like take a whole day for it. Like we wake up early, like go over there, stay till sunset. But it's just like it's kind of weird. Like, you're still on the same island, but I feel like we're in a whole different area. Like, it feels so like Hawaii there. Like, it's crazy.
It's one of the coolest things about Hawaii are the microclimates and different environments as you travel the island. Have you made it up to the North Shore yet, Erika?
Yes, I have. I think I've gone twice so far, but yeah, it's nice. I was really shocked by the size of the waves. So I was like, I'm going to go swimming, like, we're going to have a great time, and then they're like, maybe don't go swimming.
Oh my God, guys, still, it's just unbelievable that people have the courage to go out into the waves that size.
When we went 2 weeks ago, there was a guy that went out and he was stuck out there for like an hour in the waves and the current, but we were like, wow, okay.
Wow. Well, there are just no shortage of amazing places to go and things to see. And if you're out there listening and you want to truly, come to a place that just is unlike anywhere else you can be, this is the place, and this is the program. Yeah. So if you're a budding beach volleyball player and you're looking for a great program to step into and a beautiful place to live and go to school, consider HPU. All right, hey, we are going to take our last commercial break. Then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more with the HPU beach volleyball team in their inaugural season. You're listening to Sharks Weekly. I'm your host, Jeff Rich, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
So if you want to come and watch a little volleyball and maybe do a little dip in the water and get a little sun, I mean, what else would you want?
All right.
So we got to get our students out. HPU students are awesome at supporting our programs, and we got to spread the word about beach volleyball. So are your fellow students, excited? Are you getting them to come out? What are things going to look like on the 10th?
I mean, I feel like if you're going to be at the beach anyways, you want to get a good tan, come on out and watch.
Yeah. Bring, beverages, non-alcoholic beverages, welcomed at the game.
Yeah.
I can't think of what a just a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I think I know it's a early wake up, but we do play throughout the day. But if you're willing to wake up early, you could go ahead, wake up, grab some Starbucks, and just come sit on the beach till the sun comes out. Watch some volleyball, some good volleyball too.
It just sounds perfect. You start at 7:30 and you'll go till what, like?
Our last match is scheduled like 11:30, so
7:30 to 11:30.
There's going to be at least 3 to 4 matches going at one time. Wow. So if one match is exciting, I'm sure a lot of more people is going to go towards that and watch that. But all these other teams are going to continue to compete throughout the day.
Wow. Well, the 10th is going to be a super day for HPU sports because it's our homecoming day. So I am encouraging all of our listeners to hit Queens Beach Saturday morning and watch the beach volleyball team in action, enjoy the beach, and then hit the Shark Tank later Saturday and watch the men's and women's basketball teams in action. There's going to be an exhibition game, Paul, faculty staff basketball during the homecoming games for men's and women's. I, unfortunately, am going to be playing in one of those games. So maybe that's an encouragement to not come out and watch, at least me.
I was worried you were about to tell me that I was supposed to play in that. I was like, I have not been prepared. I've not run up and down a court for longer than 5 minutes in months.
Well, you probably got me beat because I played in last year's, and I think that was the first time I touched a basketball. Probably in 25 years. Since I am recruiting players, apparently, you are welcome to play.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. I'll have to start stretching out a little bit, and so I don't hurt myself at this ripe age.
Well, that's going to be a fun evening too. So it'll be a full day of HPU sports. So students, community, get out and support HPU athletics. All right, guys. So as we kind of head in here the last few minutes of the show, tell us. Let's talk about career pathways, right? So we've got 2 freshmen and a sophomore. So you guys are all underclassmen. Your early stage, Alayna, you're heading into nursing. So nursing, do you think you might take it further into healthcare? But what are your thoughts in terms of your career progression?
Yeah, so I've always been really interested in the medical field and everything, and I wasn't really exactly sure what I wanted to do. I knew either I've volunteered in hospitals, whatever, and I was like, oh, this is definitely something that I want. But as of actually last year I studied kinesiology, and I was like, okay, I really want to do like rehab, like physical therapy. And then this past year I decided I wanted to go back into nursing, and I really want to do like aesthetic nursing. So like, yeah, just
so
stuff like that.
You got a plan.
Yeah.
Of course, HBU has all sorts of programs, for advanced studies in healthcare, doctorate in physical therapy. We're launching a physician's assistant program coming up here, I think fall 25. So that'll be an amazing program, and really important for helping, to help solve some of the healthcare issues that our country has in terms of access to healthcare in rural markets and things like that. So that's really cool. So that's a great career pathway to pursue, and extremely rewarding. Lauren, you're biology.
Correct.
So what are you going to do with that degree?
I'm super into optometry. That's what I want to do. I think it was junior year of high school. I dissected a cow eye.
A cow eye.
Yeah, coolest thing ever. There's this stuff in the back of their eye. If you like flash like a light in it, it's called tapetum, and it's like super shiny. Humans obviously don't have that, but I thought that was super sick. I loved all the parts, the anatomy of it, and I'm not into like blood and needles. I don't really like that, but I love the medical field. So I was like, it's like a happy medium, good work life, family life. So
well, it's good if you figure those things out early in life. I know, the sight of blood and that kind of thing for me when I was young kind of stopped me in my tracks, and I knew very early I would be in no profession related to healthcare. But that's exciting. So you've got a path carved out. Erika, you're just getting rolling here, but marine biology, which here at HPU is a really interesting and compelling, and I dare say fun degree to pursue.
Yes, it is very fun. I'm in a boat lab class right now, actually, so that is one of my favorite classes right now. But
tell us about that. So you go out and do field work on a boat. What are you doing, and how? It sounds really cool.
So for now I've only had in-class labs, but tomorrow is actually my first lab out on the boat, so I'm super excited for that. And I think we're just learning how to like deploy plankton nets and stuff like that, so just to do our own research and just get into the field.
So when you go out and do the research, how far out are you going? And what? It just sounds like such a cool experience.
I'm not even sure. I'm guessing a ways out, because my professor said that sometimes we'll see whales and manta rays on the boat. So I'm super stoked to do that. It's going to be super exciting.
The sea life here is amazing. I never fail to see a turtle when I go out on the water. And I'm in a canoe club, the Nakoalani Outrigger Club, and we go out in Kaneohe Bay on Saturday mornings. And 2 Saturdays ago, I saw my first whale. What was really cool about it is we go out, I think 5 or 6 boats, about 36 people, and kind of do training runs. So of all the people that were out that morning, I was the only one who saw this killer whale do this amazing arc jump. It was kind of off about 300 yards, and I saw a spout of water come up, and I said, that doesn't look like that should be happening there. And then I saw a second one. All of a sudden, this amazing killer whale just did this huge jump out of the water. That was a remarkable sight.
Yeah, it's amazing here.
And you're going to see that stuff all the time, I imagine, when you get out.
I'm so excited, yeah.
Oh, man. Well, Jenic, so words of encouragement for your players and your perspective of excitement heading in here to the games?
Again, I think we're really excited to get this season going, first year, and I continually tell our girls that don't get frustrated, just kind of enjoy the moment and just kind of build on it, because they should be proud they're the starters of this program. So they're the first ones to start it up, and they'll have girls follow them, and they can kind of develop that culture that we want as well.
Culture is everything, and your team culture, your work environment. Culture is so important. Hey, one of the things we always like to ask our guests, especially ones that are newer to the islands, is what's your favorite food? What have you picked up? What the Hawaiian cuisine? Alayna, you go first, maybe.
I love anything sushi, so poke, and I've been really into Foodland poke. That's our go-to every time after the beach.
They say sushi is the healthiest thing you can eat, except for the one time it kills you.
Well, that would be unfortunate, but I do really like it.
Lauren,
even coming from Vancouver, Washington, my favorite food has been sushi through and through. I could have it literally for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I have done that before, and it was awesome. Best day ever.
All right, so we have 2 sushis slash poke.
Or L&L. L&L is pretty good too.
L&L. Try the mahi sandwich at the L&L at Ala Moana. It's like $4, and it's awesome. Erica.
Yeah, not to just keep it boring, but also sushi.
Sushi. Paul, are you going to say sushi too?
No.
No? Jenic?
Well, I think it is a sushi thing
Sushi.
here. I mean,
I'd vote sushi.
Okay, yeah.
I'm down for that.
I need a poke bowl.
I have no issue being the odd man out.
Well, hey, we're about at the end of the show here. I want to thank all our listeners for tuning in again. Your support is fantastic. We are so excited about the launch of this program, and I wish you guys the best of luck. And everybody, get out there and support this team. It's going to be fun, a great environment to go watch a game and enjoy some sunshine and beach. So best of luck, and thanks for being our guest this morning.
Oh, thank you for inviting us.
All right. Thanks all to our listeners, and we will catch you next week on Sharks Weekly here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
You've been listening to the Hawaii Sports Radio Network's special presentation of Sharks Weekly.